So we are now recording. The week of February 1st, that's this week, you've got a couple of Zoom, Delta Math assignments about trig, and there's instructional videos on each of them. There's finding ratios and using trig to find a side. You do not need a graphing calculator for either of these. We are reaching the point when you will need one, and if we get another snow day or for some reason everything goes asynchronous, you guys are going to have to find a way to get to a graphing or scientific calculator. I think you could, I mean, if we just Google one right now, let me see, graphing calculator. It does most works. Let's see if that one does it. I'm not sure I like that one. Let me try another one. I know. Can you type in let me see, cosine of 30. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you've got a semblance of one. It seems like it's more set up for graphical perspective than anything. And I think it's in radians, not degrees. So let me check another one. Easy to use graphing calculator. Let's see. I like easy to use and free. Hey, you know what? I'll do that. I'll do that playing around on my own time. Bottom line is you guys got to be to the point where you can calculate some of our trig functions without having to be in school using one of their class sets. All right, so anyway, that's that. Now what I have for today, my Zoom notes, complete and develop a fact page about the planets of our solar system. That should, let me edit on the fly here, about the planets of our solar system. It should include each planet's radius and circumference in both miles and kilometers. Also include the distance from the sun. There's two purposes, and I told you the first one is to develop a value for pi, and the second is to work toward a scale model. So if you'd like, if you have Google Sheets, you can use Google Sheets. If you have Excel, that's where I work out of, I work out of Excel. So I'm going to go into Excel. I'm going to open this. If you guys have Google Sheets, you could please open one of those up. Snowplow just went down the road. We have a long straight driveway, right? But and it's easy enough. We use a snowblower because it's kind of a longish driveway. But when the snowplow comes through, we always got to shovel out the end of the driveway. So I guess I know what I'm doing at the end of the day today. All right, there we go. Your sheet should look something toward that. You don't have to finish it now. In fact, this is what I'm giving you guys as an assignment. The planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Is Pluto a planet anymore? I don't know. I'd like this to be in miles and kilometers, and it kind of depends which site you go to as far as what you get. Like let me Google this up. Radius of the planets. Oh, you can see I already did this before. Radius of the planets. Equatorial radius of the planets and the sun. Have you guys ever used a spreadsheet before? Because if nothing else, this would actually be a worthy exercise for you. Okay, they give us the equatorial radius, and this is in kilometers. I got to put my readers on. Jupiter is 71492. So I'm going to go to Jupiter and put 71492. And Saturn is 60268. I'll do one more. Uranus is 25559. Okay, now I don't know to what extent you guys have ever used a spreadsheet before. Spreadsheets, and I apologize if I'm talking way down to you. Basically, it consists of a bunch of little blocks. They're called cells. And each cell has an address. Along the top, you can see this is column D and E and F and G. And it has a bunch of rows, which are numbered. I think it goes 60,000 or something like that. And the name Jupiter resides at the location C9. All right, and you can see the contents of Jupiter is up in the little editing box there. And what I'm going to is like how are you going to get the radius in miles? You go to another website, or maybe it's easier just to go to another website, or you can specify the units. But I want to show you quickly how you could do this in using Excel. We have a conversion that if 1 kilometer is 0.621371 miles. So, and on the other hand, a mile is 1.60934 kilometers. So it depends which one you get. So for me to go to miles, what I've got to do is I've got to divide by, okay, I see this 71492. I got to divide by 1.60934. That's a lot of numbers. Let the computer do it. So I'm going to go over to this cell right here. Let's do Saturn first. Now, the way you make a calculation happen is please don't do it manually, right? You can get the calculator to do this for you, or the software. What you do, at least in Excel, you hit up the plus sign, and then use your arrow. See, I'm just sort of scrolling around to all these little cells. Well, if I center over the radius in kilometers and hit enter, and now don't hit enter yet, and I want to divide by 1.60934. Hit enter, and there's the miles. So we've got the miles and we've got the radius. Now I don't want all those decimals. We don't need them. So we can format this cell, and let's see where we would do that. Up at the top, I'm going to hit format cells, and I don't want any decimal points. I think rounding it off to let's just use integer numbers. See how it defaults to 2 decimals? I want that to be 0 decimals. I'd enter. There we go. We have the radius in miles of Saturn, and we got the radius in kilometers of Saturn. And now what you can do is we can take this equation and we're going to copy it to Jupiter. There we go. Don't have to do any retyping or anything like that, and we could paste it to Uranus. That sounded really gross. There you go. So that's a real quick and easy way that you can get the radius information calculated without having to go to another site. In fact, while I'm here, let me just paste it to all of these. Now, notice I've got a bunch of zeros. That's because I don't have any numbers entered in for the radius of those planets in kilometers. Well, I go to my website, and if I see, let's see, I don't have Neptune yet. Neptune is 24764. So I go to the cell for radius in kilometers for Neptune, and I'm going to type in 24764, hit enter. And there, I don't have to look up the miles for radius. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna leave this incomplete. I'm going to let's see if we can find where we could get the circumference. So I'm going to open up another window, and I want the circumference of the planets. And you can see that I've already done this. I guess you could specify miles or kilometers. Okay. The table's a little easier to read, but I can go with this. Okay. It's trying to sell me something, I think. All right, so Mercury is in, now this website is in miles. So the circumference of Mercury is 9,522 miles. The circumference of Venus, that's the, by the way, that's the distance around, like your belt is the circumference around your waist. Venus is 23617. Have you guys ever done this? I'd ask, I'm going to ask the question, but usually I don't get a lot of responses when I'm doing a Zoom class. But I'm just curious, how many of you guys have never used a spreadsheet before? Is there anybody that's never used one? Again, I don't want to put you on the spot of having to. That sounded bad. Okay, and did I get the right circumference? It's circumference. Okay, so I got Earth's circumference. Mars has a circumference of 13,256. Jupiter has a circumference of 27895. Okay, I'm going to stop there because what I'd like to do is I'd now like to go towards how we could, we turned the kilometers into miles. Now I'd like to turn miles into kilometers. So for this one, we divided by 1.6. This time we're going to multiply by 1.6. So see if you can do that. I'll show you how in just a second. Hope you're having fun in the snow today. I tell you, I'm going to finish entering all the data. That way we can do this all. I want to show you how easy this is to do. 235, 185. Uranus is 99 something. And finally, Neptune is 96 and change, 96,645. Okay, so we've got all of those done. So let's go into, let's convert. And the way we're going to convert is we're going to multiply the number of miles times 1.60934. So again, we want to put our cell, our cursor, in the cell where we want the calculation to happen. And at least in Excel, I'm not sure how this works in Sheets. Most spreadsheets work the same way. You have to tell it, you have to start it with an operation. So I usually start with a plus. And now whenever I use my arrow keys, I'm just going to start adding things up. Like wherever I stop is where it's going to be adding. So if I hit this, and if I just hit enter, then notice I've got 9, 5. It does. I never gave myself a chance to multiply by 1.609. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to repeat the steps. I'm going to do plus. Now I use my arrow key. And now I got to remember, I want to multiply this. So here's my multiplication step. Multiply by 1.60934. And when I hit enter, there we go. We have the circumference of Mercury. And you could do that 7 more times, or you could just copy and paste this calculation. So let me scoot up here and let's format it. I don't like having all those decimal points. I mean, the numbers are big enough. We don't need to clutter it with a bunch of, to know the circumference of the planets to the 10,000th of a kilometer is a little overkill. So I'm going to go to format the cells. And I'm formatting a number. You can do this with, well, you guys know how this works. I hope you, I don't know. It's like on the one hand, I might be really insulting you guys by asking you to do something that, you learned how to do in middle school. On the other hand, if you've never seen one of these before, you're totally lost. And I think if you don't remember anything from geometry, I can assure you, you're going to know how, you're going to need to know how to use a spreadsheet and word processor and all the tools that comes with our digital age. All right, I've got my calculation for the circumference in kilometers. I just want to copy the formula.
Here it is.
Hey, make sure you mute yourself. Now I'm going to paste. There we go. And not only does it copy the formula, it also copies the formatting. Notice I don't have to switch it out of all those decimals again. So there we go. I'm going to leave it to you guys to get the distance from the sun in miles and kilometers. And you got to finish up the radius and kilometers of those planets. And I'm going to leave us there. We're at about 12:55 is our close time, and I'm about 5 minutes early. I'm going to save this file, and I'll finish it later. Save as facts of the solar system. No, I don't want to save it in downloads. I want to save it on my desktop. Save. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to, let me see, is there anything else I need? Excel, we can quit Excel now. Let me look into Schoology. Okay, when you get, please have a hard copy of your completed worksheet, of a fact sheet of the solar system. I'm looking for us to use it. Please don't be submitting digital copies to Schoology. I'm not interested in that. I want you to bring this as a tool to class when we're together, hopefully on Wednesday. I've heard that another round of snow is supposed to start. I don't know what you guys had, but we had about, let's say 6 inches on the ground. I went out and did some, oh here, why am I talking to a blank screen? Stop share. There we go. Yeah, we had about 6 inches of snow on the ground. And this morning before showering, I went out and I snow blowed the driveway. And it's about 100 feet long. It's straight. There's no hill to it or anything, but I wouldn't want to do it with a shovel. So I got that done. Hopefully, I'm probably going to have to do it again tomorrow because I'm expecting we're going to have another round of snow. But if I knock out a little bit of it, we're okay. You guys okay? What's going on with the? Okay, I am taping this. Oh, I'm taping this. I will have to go back and edit it and make sure that I edit it from when I stopped the screen share. All right. So anyway, if you have any questions, give me a holler. You got 2 Delta math assignments, and again, get that solar system fact sheet done. And those of you that are, I'm still from November waiting on a couple of floor plans. Please get those into me because I'm going to put in some zeros. All right. You got till the end of the marking period, but that zero is going to look, you don't want that. You don't want that in PowerSchool. And those of you guys that submitted them in before the term break, I guess it was in early January, you guys were exempt from that. All right. So I'm going to cut out now. Got another class. We all have classes coming up soon. You guys be well. Message me if you have any questions and have fun in the snow. All right.